Hey there, Fox. In today's podcast, I'm going to be interviewing two people, two great individuals. One is Michelle from Belgium, and the second is Angela from the UK. And what connects them is they both are English teachers, and I'm really looking forward to meeting them because I feel like I can learn a lot from them, and even my viewers can learn a lot from their English. The journey of being as an English teacher and years of experience they hold in terms of teaching English. So stay tuned till the end and let me know in the comments how do you feel about this podcast. Your insights means a lot to me. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And as of now, I'm waiting for Michelle and Angela to join this podcast. So yeah,
How are you?
thanks. Yeah, great. It's great to see you again. I'm pretty good.
Yeah, good to see you again.
Yeah. Okay,
Uh,
Angela's okay, join. Yeah, welcome both of you guys,
Hi,
Michelle.
Michelle. Hi, Janelle.
hi, Angela. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Good to see you again, Janelle. How are you?
Oh, likewise. I'm pretty good, and
Good.
I was just like I gave the introduction of both of you to my viewers that Michelle is from Belgium. She has been teaching English for a long time, and I guess Angela is a former English teacher. She has a vast experience in English, but right now she is into a different thing. But she's gonna share her insights about her journey as an English teacher. So welcome once again, both of you, Michelle and Angela.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to be here.
So how's life treating you, both of you guys?
You go.
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah, good. I'm in Italy at the moment on holiday, so
really? Wow,
just enjoying being here.
nice.
Nice and sunny, not too hot. It was hot a week ago, but now it's nice. It's just right.
Intriguing. And how long will you be there, Michelle?
For another couple of weeks, and I'm doing working here as well, so mixture of holiday and work. Mm.
All right.
Nice.
And
We're
what's
in
on your
Italy,
side?
Michelle.
And in Friuli, in a place called San Pietro a Natisone.
Nice.
Yeah.
We love
Intriguing.
What
Italy.
about you, Angela? Where are you? Because we haven't spoken yet. So where do you live?
So I live in East Lothian in Scotland,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm from Galway in Ireland.
Right.
So yeah, I've lived here for 12, 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ah,
So yeah, it's lovely. It's a lovely, lovely place to live. Really nice. I was a bit worried I'd be late because one of my dogs ran off on the walk this morning. So,
oh,
Oh,
but no, I got him. I got him
okay.
back. It's fine.
okay,
He
good.
ran after a hare.
Oh.
So, yeah, he's fine. All
Yeah.
good.
All right. So, guys, what inspired you to become an English teacher?
You want to
Uh,
go first, Angela?
Michelle?
No, Michelle, you go.
It was a number of things actually. It was first of all when I first started learning French when I was 11, I wasn't I was actually quite terrible at French. At least my teacher thought so, and told my parents that I wasn't very good at languages and kind of, cut me off as a language student. And then I had another teacher who was just lovely and taught in a different way, and my French started to really progress, and I started to enjoy speaking another language. And I had a pen friend who I went to see, and I got to know her family and spoke more French. So that was the first thing, the experience of learning another language. And then I studied French at university and linguistics. So I did things like language acquisition and the way languages are structured and phonetics, which I found really fascinating, just all the different sounds of every single known language. And so they kind of built up and then it just seemed like a logical thing to become an English teacher. And I really love it. I love seeing people progressing and becoming more confident and able to communicate with people that otherwise they may never have spoken to. So yeah.
And how long has it been, Michelle? How long have you been working?
Um, Officially 5 years, but really about 13, 14 years.
Yeah.
That's when I first did my CELTA course, my teaching English to adults course.
Mhm. Wow, incredible.
Yeah.
And what about you, Angela?
Similar to yourself, Michelle, actually. It
Mhm.
was, first of all, when I was a child, I had a pen friend in Germany,
Mm.
and I just enjoyed. So she would write to me in English. We didn't learn German at school, unfortunately, and but she was obviously learning English because all over Europe, everyone learns English, don't they, from very
Mm.
small. And she would write to me in English, and she asked me to correct her English. I was maybe 9 or 10 or whatever, and I was able to tell her what she said incorrectly, but I wasn't able to say why it was incorrect. She was like, "Why is that not right?" And
Mm.
it really interested me to know why it wasn't right. And that really made me want to know why it wasn't, so why was
Mm.
the grammar incorrect? So I sort of got fascinated, like yourself, Michelle, in that side of things. And I also loved reading.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
I was always into literature, always read a lot as a child. And because I lived in the west of Ireland, maybe that fed into it because there was a lot of wet days. So reading was sort of, it was in the 70s as well. Television wasn't really a thing. There was no PlayStation. I don't know how old you are, Michelle, but when I was a kid, the
Yeah.
television only started at 3 p.m. and we weren't allowed to watch it anyway. My mother was a teacher and she wouldn't let us watch, she was quite strict. So
Mhm.
reading was where I went always. So those two things really, and also, as you say, seeing the different ways that teachers can make a huge difference to the experience of the child or the adult,
Mm.
making it fun, encouraging, because not everyone learns the same. Because I work in disability services now, and a lot of my students have dyslexia. So,
Mm.
teaching English to people with specific learning differences as well, that was, a different side to it. So, yeah, there's a lot of reasons I went into that role at the time.
Mm.
Wow. And
Interesting.
Angela, now like I got a recollection, you have like 20 years of experience in disability services. And
Yeah.
as an English teacher, how many years of experience you had prior to that?
So I taught in a high school for 2 years, and then I taught English as a foreign language for 8 years.
Wow. Mm.
So to people from all over the world, really interesting times. Really funny. Lots of things happened. So yeah, so it was quite a while. I really
Mm.
enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Finding different ways to teach things as well, because every culture has a different need, I saw, and sort of how do you fit that into the way they understand the world, I suppose.
got it.
Yeah.
It was really good to do.
Mm.
Languages and the dog of yours, Angela. That reminds me of a question. Like, if you guys had
Hmm.
the ability to speak all the languages or the ability to speak with animals, which one would you like to go with and why?
I mean, which animal would we most like to
All the
speak with?
animals and all the languages. This
Mm.
is the hypothetical question I usually ask to my students. So I thought, let's see what's your
Mm.
insights on.
I'd certainly like to be able to understand my cat, because he walks around sometimes for hours and hours just meowing and sounding so miserable. And maybe he's happy. Maybe he's just speaking to us and saying, "Oh, I like this," and "Oh, that's nice wallpaper." And I think really maybe you should that doesn't quite go with that. Why don't you change it? Or I mean, I just have no idea what he's
Hmm.
saying. And it does worry me a little bit that maybe he's unhappy and there's something very small that we could do to make him happy, but we have no idea. So yeah, speaking to my cat,
Okay.
otherwise
Hmm.
speaking Japanese just because it just sounds so different and I love all the different characters, and yeah, that's it basically.
Intriguing. Wow. And Angela, what about you?
I I'm the same. I would like to speak to animals. I mean, I would love to speak all
Mm.
the languages too, just instantly, but I think as humans, there are different ways of communicating. You know, I've been to different places. I'm not able to speak the language, and you always make do somehow with hand gestures or facial expressions or pointing or I mean you make do without language when you have to, don't you?
Yeah.
But I'm the same as you, Michelle. The two dogs that we have, I'd love to know what's going on in their heads.
Mm.
And I do worry. We have a 12-year-old dog at the moment and a 2-year-old, and I'm just wonder, is he in pain? Does he have arthritis? Because he doesn't want to be left behind, so he always rushes around after us. And I'm wondering, is he?
Mm.
So yeah, it's hard really, but I'd love to be able to talk to all animals. I think that would be incredible, because they
Yeah.
have such different experiences to us.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we'd probably be really surprised about how wrong we are about what animals are doing and why. When you watch
Yeah.
those nature programs and it's the narrator assumes maybe quite knowledgeably that an animal is doing this for this reason. And then maybe if we could speak to them, we'd find out that it means something totally different and we're getting it all
Mm,
wrong.
mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I have like street dogs, 7 to 8. So I want to know one, like sometimes they fight among one another, so I
Mm-hmm.
want to know why do they fight? And there's a particular dog. She's always afraid of her mother. When her mother comes, she
Mm.
runs away. So I want to know why she does it.
Yeah.
Mm, it would be good to know, wouldn't it? I mean, something might have happened when she was a puppy. Maybe the mum accidentally sat on her. Sometimes that happens, just
Mm,
because they get very afraid of things. If they have something happen when they're very young, our dogs anyway, seem to react always throughout their lives then to that again, in the future. Um, there's one particular dog that our puppy, the first dog she ever saw outside of her litter and outside of our other dog, was kind of a really strong bulldog, kind of a black bulldog in near us. And she every time she sees this dog, she goes crazy.
so,
Mm.
She does not like this dog. I don't, she got a
Mm.
fright, I think. She was like, oh my God, that's different. What's happening?
Mhm. Mm.
So yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So, don't know. Yeah, could be just trauma experiences, you know. But yeah, interesting. That
and
would be a superpower.
Mhm.
okay, coming back to the topic, what do you enjoy
Mm.
most about teaching English, Michelle, Angela?
First of all, can I just say I have quite bad hay fever, so I'm gonna sit here sniffling and blowing my nose quite a
All
bit.
right.
So yeah, sorry about that. Um, can you repeat the question? Sorry, because I was thinking about
Uh,
blowing my nose.
I forgot the question. Wait, wait. Yeah, what do you enjoy most about teaching English?
Hmm. I think seeing students enjoying being able to express something that maybe last week they couldn't express. Um, and seeing students building confidence as well, because I have a lot of students who work in the European Commission or in the European Parliament or somewhere kind of where things could be quite competitive. And so often I get students who in the beginning say, my English isn't very good, when in fact it is. My colleagues speak so much better English than I do, and I don't understand this colleague or and then to see them coming back to me and saying, I understood this colleague with this particular accent so much better now, um, or worrying less and talking less about other colleagues and how much better they're English with. Because one of my students once played part of a presentation of one of her colleagues who she thought was so much better at English than she was. And actually, this colleague wasn't. They were pretty much the same level, or maybe better in different ways, worse in other ways. So it's just seeing students become more confident and stopping comparing themselves to others and, yeah, enjoying learning English.
Makes sense. Wow.
Mhm.
Mm.
What's your take on it, Angela?
Yeah, when I taught English as a foreign language, what I used to love was seeing the kids uh, having a laugh with locals.
Hmm.
Because they'd arrive in Galway and they would be very shy and they'd stick together in little groups and they would always hang around with each other. And then one day I remember a specific occasion that we were going somewhere on a bus. We were all going to see a castle or something. We were doing cultural activities and as well at the weekends. And this a boy and a girl, two 16-year-olds, spent the entire time talking to the bus driver on the way to the place. It was about an hour and a half. And they were only there a few weeks and they hadn't ever, really conversed. And this guy had a really difficult accent to understand. He was from the countryside in Ireland. And even to me, his accent was quite, it was English, but it was quite hard to understand sometimes. And they were chatting away and they were confident to say, "What? I didn't get that. What? Can you say that again?" And they were confident to say, so that really, and then over the time that they'd be in the city, you'd see them going into shops on their own and chatting to people at the desk and asking for another size or asking for another product and just having normal life. And I really enjoyed seeing them kind of flourishing in terms of chatting to locals with all age groups. That was really fun.
It's really nice when you see students who aren't afraid to speak,
Mhm.
because so often I have students who say that they have opportunities, but they don't necessarily practice their English because they think it's not going to be perfect or that they'll make
Mhm.
mistakes or not be understood. And it's not about being perfect, it's just about being able to communicate something, even if it's in a basic way.
Mhm.
It's communication that is the
Absolutely.
most important thing.
Even if you only have one word
Yeah.
and point.
Hmm.
Ah,
It is about building on that and building your confidence and not being perfect. It is all in your head. I mean, I found that I did Italian at university with English, and I didn't get an opportunity to teach it. Well, I did in the evenings, but not very much teaching of Italian. And over the years, my Italian slipped, kind of if you don't use it.
Mm.
And then I ended up going on honeymoon to Italy. And within 2 days, it was all back again. It was just listening and listening and listening, but it wasn't perfect. But now that I was an adult, I was able to just go, throw out any words that I could remember.
Mm.
My tenses were all over the place for the first few days. Everything was going wrong, and people were going, you know, but they gave me a bit of leeway, and people will always give you leeway if you try to
Mm.
speak, don't they?
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be exact.
Yeah,
Mhm.
most people are just really happy that you're trying to communicate. I mean, yes, there
Hmm.
there are definitely people who will look at you like, I have had that, and that's very off-putting.
Hmm.
Um, but generally people are happy to listen and to help.
Hmm. Yeah,
Mm.
for sure. Yeah.
Mm.
That's like Angela, you've been to like Italy in your honeymoon, and
Hmm.
Michelle, you are
Hmm.
in Italy right now. So I want to know
Mm.
the difference, that time difference and the change that has been there in the Italy itself. Like when you went, how was your experience, Angela? And now, what do you see, Michelle, in Italy?
So I lived there because I was doing a language degree in Italy. I was 19, and it's very different being somewhere when you're 19 and then when you're 39. That's a good while ago, but still, we went there actually last year as well to Sicily. But the difference to me was that when I was there first, I wasn't confident to speak. But then when I was an adult, I didn't care anymore. I was just throwing things out there. But Italy, is such a brilliant place. The people are unbelievable. I mean, just really generous and friendly. And, yes, there's a lot of tourists there and stuff. But if you go down the little alleyways and you find the little coffee shops and chat to people there, it's a fascinating place, loads of history. Um, God, I mean, I can't say good enough things about it, but I didn't see huge amounts of change. The only change I saw was the amount of tourists.
Yeah.
It's huge. Like, I mean, in the 90s, in the early 90s, there were lots of tourists there. But
Okay.
now, when we went back, oh my God, it has grown so much. There's so many more tourists. I think Italy has probably got more money now than it had back then. There's more money washing around there. But to me, it felt the same otherwise.
Mm.
I'm sure people that live there wouldn't agree, but to me, it
Yeah.
felt the same. It had the same feeling, you know.
Mm.
And Angela, in the light of, I guess, what you are saying, they like the other day I
Mm,
was watching news, and there were countries like Italy, then there were countries like I guess Paris, like France. So they are like the locals that you mentioned. They are like kind of they hate nowadays. They are starting hating the like what do we call it, travelers. They are
mm,
starting the protest of anti-tourism because because of the tourists, the rates are increasing. There is a shortage of water supply, and the locals are having a tough time. So,
yeah,
yeah, so the overcrowding thing, I guess, that's impacting a lot of
yeah,
countries.
it is a problem. I don't know. I mean, I think the rental of normal houses, it's the same in Ireland and here. The rental of regular houses for tourism is causing a lot of problems because people can't get anywhere to live then. Yeah, I mean, you can't really blame people because it's impossible to get down the street sometimes.
Mm.
I mean, even I was in Galway there. The last time I spoke to you, Janelle, I was in Galway and went to buy something and I couldn't get down the street because it was just
Oh,
absolutely rammed with people. So yeah, but then, in the winter it's very quiet and yeah, it's hard to know what to do about it. I mean, yes, it is a problem.
mm.
And there's certain places because they are Instagram famous
Yeah, yeah.
that people go to, but yet they don't go to the next village along the coast because that hasn't been on Instagram.
Mm.
Mm.
It's really weird. It's exactly the same kind of village, but everyone wants their photo taken at this precise point. It's just
Yeah.
bizarre.
Mm.
I don't
And
know.
do you see that thing, Michelle, over there, like the thing that I'm saying? Oh,
And I think definitely tourism has there are many more tourists. Not from my experience, but my husband is from this region, or at least his dad's family are from here. And he said, in fact, he was saying the other day, we went to a place called Udine, which is the nearest biggest town, biggest city, really. And he was saying how much it's changed, and there are so many more tourists now, and Venice as well is crazy. In the summer, it's just like you were saying about Galway, you can hardly walk down the street. Um, and so I guess I do understand if locals are fed up with tourists. But at the same time, tourists bring in money, but they also crowd other people out and make things more expensive. So yeah, yeah, it's not easy.
It's
and
hard to
also
find a
when
balance.
Yeah, exactly. There needs to be a balance, but how do you find that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, do you see
Mm.
any sort of changes in terms of weather, Michelle and Angela? Um,
In terms of weather,
yeah.
mm, um, actually, not so much. I mean, apparently, a couple of weeks ago in Brussels, where I live, it was really, really hot. In fact, it was hotter than here. But here, it's hotter for longer periods of time. Yeah. I mean, mostly in July and halfway through August, it's around 35, 36 here, whereas in Brussels, you might have a week of 34, 35, maybe a day of 36, but generally it doesn't last as long.
Mm.
Mm. But what you were saying about learning languages and forgetting and then remembering again, um, each year I come here and I start off having mostly pretty much having forgot my Italian apart from really basic words. And then within a week, like you were
Mm.
saying, Angela, it just all comes back really quickly. And I think I'm not sure my Italian ever gets better, but it definitely gets to a certain standard where maybe I can understand half, a third of what people are saying, and I can generally say what I want to say in a very basic way. Mm. But it
That's
does come back
fine.
quickly.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah.
like in terms of content, I guess we see a lot of content in English, but compared like if we try to compare it with Italian, French, I'm not really into those languages. But do you have like any idea? Like, do they produce the same amount of content that we see in English?
I don't find as much, no. No.
Mm.
What about you, Angela?
You can, I mean, obviously you can watch television if you have the channels, satellite and whatever
Mhm.
you can if you want to watch,
Yeah.
shows and that. There isn't the same amount, but they're good quality most of the time if you do want to watch them, if you can find them. Um, yeah, I think probably for the size of the country, I don't know if they produce quite as much, but I guess you have all lots of different English speaking countries producing stuff anyway, so it's not really the same, but you can find stuff if you want. I mean, when
Mm.
before we went away, I watched some Italian, really bad Italian soaps, kind of
Mm.
just to wake up that wherever that it is in my brain.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, but there isn't the same amount of content online and stuff like that. No, not really.
Mm.
Not really. Unfortunately. Yeah.
Like, what's the best way to improve speaking fluency?
For me, I think one of the best ways, and that I always say to my students, is find something that you really enjoy listening to or watching. It doesn't have to be even the slightest bit intellectual. If someone is speaking English and the subject is something that interests you, watch it or listen to it because you'll still learn more than if you watch something because you think you ought to. So yeah, that's my biggest tip would be find something that you're really interested in. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
And yeah, and also maybe finding somebody who also speaks a little bit of English. And I know you might say, oh, well, they're teaching me mistakes. It doesn't really matter.
Mm,
If you're both learning and you want to practice with another person who's also learning. Because, you might notice, oh, you've said that, what I would have said was this and this. So, we did that when we were at uni. We just went for walks and we spoke Italian to each other and we were making lots of mistakes and probably reinforcing mistakes, but it doesn't really matter.
mm,
This isn't a life or death situation. It's a language and it's communication. So, yeah, find somebody who's also learning and have conversations with them. Or, do a language, like a swap with somebody.
Mhm.
So meet somebody that's learning your language, you're learning English, vice versa, and just do it every second week or back and forth like that. It's quite good. You don't have to go to the country of the
Mm.
speak. You don't have to come to the UK. You don't have to come to America or Australia or wherever. You can learn it in your own hometown, wherever you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you could go to a country, an English speaking country, and either stay with people who speak your language or just not go out very much. Or if you go somewhere like the Netherlands, for example, and when I try to speak Dutch, it's hopeless because everybody wants to speak English. So yeah, it's about your motivation and you finding the the opportunities to speak whatever language you're learning.
True.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And there's so much online now as well.
Yeah.
And like you say, Angela, language exchanges.
Mm. Yeah. It's a really good
Mm.
way of doing it. I
Mm.
did it with a colleague actually. She's Italian, and we did a language swap.
Mhm.
Just we went for coffees and just had 10 minutes of Italian, 10 minutes of English.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
Nice.
Mm.
And one
Yeah.
thing that is a area of concern for me is like with the advent of AI, I feel like in the near future there won't be the need of learning any languages. Like you'll be like wearing any sort of devices, you'll be speaking in your language, and it will automatically be translated to the native language of that person. Like we often see, like politicians have been using it for years, I guess, this kind of device. So I want to know what's your take on it. Do you think that that's a possibility, or as a teacher we are safe?
I think it's a possibility, but it's not going to happen yet. And I hope it doesn't happen too quickly because AI still makes so many mistakes and mistranslations. And for now and in the next few years, I think it's really important to have human to human interaction and maybe even to make an effort to keep having human to human interaction so that that doesn't go away, that doesn't kind of disappear too quickly. Because maybe it's just because I'm, in my in my early 50s and I'm not anti-AI at all, but I really think human to human interaction is incredibly important and valuable.
Sure.
Yeah.
What's your take
Yeah.
on it?
Yeah, I'm the same as you, Michelle, in the same generation. And I mean, it does worry me, but I really don't think that we are on the way out at all. Because I mean, at the end of the day, for now, I think we have control of AI, I
Hmm.
think. Um, and, you know, I think we have to guard against giving everything over to AI because, it would be a great shame that the human brain is just like, what is it going to be for if AI is writing all the books and speaking all the languages and, doing all the stuff that we do? I think it would be a great shame that would happen. We have developed over millennia this capacity to learn and speak languages, and we have a part of our brains devoted to that over the time. I just think it would be a real shame to do that, but maybe I'm speaking from an older person point of view. I mean, younger people might think it's a great idea to have a thing on your throat and you just speak whatever language you know and it comes out in something else, into somebody else's earpiece. I don't know. Maybe people want that. I don't want that. Um, I think it's a really fascinating thing to be able to do, to speak a different language, to learn a different language. But yeah, I mean, who knows? I don't know. I think it'll probably be a mix
Yeah.
because I don't think AI can take over human interaction.
No. And I think also maybe when people stop, when it stops being such a special, amazing thing, my hope is that we'll use it for when we need it. For example, if I were to go to Japan or China or Thailand, I don't speak those languages, so it would be helpful to be able to converse with somebody because I went to live in Thailand and I ended up coming back. And one of those reasons was that I was just very on my own and I didn't speak Thai, obviously, not yet. And all the Thais that I was surrounded with didn't speak English. And so it can be very isolating. So yeah, it's useful when you need it, but not when you can do it yourself. I think maybe that should be the line. Can you do it
Yeah.
yourself? Okay, yes, do it yourself. If you really can't, use AI. That maybe that would be my rule for using AI actually.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a good line to draw, I think.
Mm.
Yeah.
And
Because as well, sorry.
no, Angela, carry on, carry on.
No, I was just thinking there, the characters are different, so you can't even read it. Those languages, you can't even read them,
Mm.
so it's a different alphabet and everything else. So yes, for that reason, it would be really handy to have. Because in
Mm.
Italian, it's phonetic. You just read it and it comes
Hmm.
out the way it's written, right?
Yeah.
And English, to a certain degree, is similar.
Ish.
Not as much as Italian or French. But yeah, that would be my line as well, I think.
Mm.
What I can see, like a common thing between you two, Angela and Michelle, that you have been to numerous places. I feel like that. So I want to know
Mhm.
which places have you been to, and kindly tell me what sort of experience you have had over there.
Mm.
First, the list of the places, I guess you have like Thailand, and you said Italy, and yeah,
Hmm.
I'm intrigued to know.
Well, I haven't really been to that many places because when I was studying French, I concentrated on going to France.
Okay.
Now that my husband is half Italian, where we would come to Italy rather than any other place really. And then otherwise I've been to places for work when I used to work in an office, but that was just work and I didn't really see much of the place. But yeah, Thailand for 4 months and then for a few holidays. Where else? I'm sure I'm probably missing out maybe some really interesting places, but I can't think right now.
Intriguing.
And
So you
Angela,
went
where
to
about
Thailand
you?
for English, Michelle?
I went to teach there, yeah, to
Wow.
teach in a nursery school. And that was the best part of being in Thailand. It was fantastic. These kids were just they were such fun. And it was one of my favorite jobs really. But it was for me, it was just too far to go
Mm.
um at that age and to live when I already had all my family and friends in Europe. So mm.
Interesting place, I'd say.
And,
It was.
you were in Italy, Angela, at the age of 19, pursuing your degree.
Mm, mm,
So from
yeah.
19 to like 2 years, did you stay over there?
No, no, I only stayed there for 6 months.
Okay.
Um, it was interesting, yeah. Yeah,
And
we in Rome, we stayed there. I was an au pair and a student, so I looked after children who are now probably in their 40s. Hard
Yeah.
to believe. Grown men, but yeah, have been, oh, I mean, like all over Europe. I had a boyfriend who lived in Germany, so I lived in Germany for a while. Been all over, been to Morocco, been to Tunisia, um, all Belgium, like all we did a tour. We took a van, me and my partner and my son, and we went on a tour of Europe in Belgium and Luxembourg and all driving tour through all that area. Really lovely. Um, Yeah, been to a lot of places, but also not been to a lot of places. I have never been to
Uh,
India.
Angela,
I have never been to,
uh,
yeah, lots of places.
sorry for interruption. I guess we have to move on to different link because it's about to
Oh
get,
yeah,
yeah, complete. So I'll
yeah.
share a different link with you guys.
Okay,
Yeah, right.
okay. Yeah, so Morocco this year was our holiday for 2 weeks. We went with Intrepid, and they're really good because they bring you to places that isn't tourist uh full. It's not just full of tourists. So we went to people's houses for lunch. We went into people's houses for tea. We sat on the ground with the people and, went around their farms and in their houses. And it was really, we saw the usual places as well, but we went to really special places too. Um, Been to America a couple of times, but I think my favorite place is Italy.
Mm.
Outside of my own home, obviously, my favorite place is Italy. I just love going there. I love the people, love the food, love the weather, love everything about it.
Mm.
Intriguing. Wow. And
Yeah,
which is the farthest place that you wanna guys like that you guys wanna explore? The farthest place that you have not been to?
I'd love to go to New Zealand. And as it happens, I'd also love to go to India. I think those, honestly, and along with Japan, those are the three top places for me. Yeah.
Intriguing. Wow. And why these three places, Michelle? I know about New Zealand. Like a lot of people want to go over there. Japan for like I guess discipline and the culture itself. And India, yeah, it's worth exploring. But I want to know from you.
I guess New Zealand, just because I have heard that it's such a beautiful country and it's just open spaces and not very crowded at all, and that all and plenty of nature, and that really appeals to me. For India, I I'm not really sure why. I guess it's because I read a lot about India, and it just seems so different. Both all of these places just seem so different to where I live now, and so there's that appeal as well. Um, and you hear a lot about, well, I certainly have heard and read a lot about colonialism, and so I know, there's all these books as well about the times of colonialism, and I would just really like to know what India is like now as a place that's not ruled by the British. Um, so yeah, that's I think that's the attraction there. And then Japan, partly it's just the language again is so different, and I'm fascinated by the idea of symbols for words. And also because so many people talk about Japan as being a beautiful and interesting place, and it's very, very different to say London or Brussels. And it appeals to me just to be in different places because otherwise you just get stuck in what you know, and you forget that there are other people and other cultures and other languages, and I just find that so interesting, and it just makes life so more interesting and real as well when you're not stuck in your own bubble.
Yeah, complete.
Mm.
And Angela,
Where do I want to go next?
the farthest place that you have never been to.
The furthest place I've never been to. I've been to Australia, but never New Zealand. I would also like to go there. Um, Again, to see the nature, to be somewhere huge that has no people in it. I think that would be really good.
Mm.
I like that. Um, I would like to go to India. Also, my son, I told you, Janelle, before, my son
Yeah,
lived there for a year. He really loved it. I wouldn't live where he lived though, because I don't like roughing it. He worked in an ashram for a year as a cleaner, and It was basic. He had very just basic
Mm.
accommodation, but he wanted to do that. He wanted to learn yoga, and they gave him all the classes for free as a staff member, and so he got a lot out of it. But I wouldn't stay there. I would like somewhere nice to be. But like that, I'd love. I meet a lot of people from India where I work in the university. A lot of students come, and I've met a lot through my career as well in English. And I always liked people. I always liked the people, just really friendly, open people. And I'm sure there are different people over there as well, because people that travel are often the more open people, I suppose, aren't they? Uh, don't know, but would love to go there again because it's so different. And the other place I haven't been and that I really want to go, and it's not so far, is Scandinavia. I've never gone north because I live in a cold country, although it's been really hot this year. Live in a cold country, you don't want to go to another cold country on your holidays. So you tend to go south. But next, I think it's going to be in this area, Scandinavia, Norway, Sweden, Denmark.
Intriguing.
I tried to learn Danish a few years ago during COVID.
Mm.
I did a year of Danish on an app just for something to do. It was really interesting. Watched a lot of crime dramas in Danish.
Mm. Mhm.
They do good. They do a really good crime drama. If you ever want to listen to Danish, the crime dramas are very interesting.
And
Yeah,
like,
so that's
do you guys have a plan that once in a year, we want to visit this many places? Is it kind of like a bucket list thing, or you do it randomly?
For me, it's probably random. It's when I have the time and the money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, because my family live in Ireland, what ends up happening is we don't go abroad every year. We go every second year. I
Okay.
don't I don't consider Ireland to be abroad because it's not really. It's so we go back there on our holidays. We drive there. We got a ferry, drive to Glasgow, get a ferry to Belfast, drive from Belfast to Galway and see my family there. So that's every second year we do that. I fly over a good bit, but that's sometimes our holiday. We bring the dogs as well. So it is a bit random. We just take a notion to go somewhere, we just get an idea and we have to go there. But the places that are on the list are definitely New Zealand, India, and Scandinavia at the moment.
And if I call a spade, Angela and Michelle, if I tell you honestly, like if I want to go abroad, like the Indian economy, the currency is always lesser than the other countries. Like if I
Mm,
want to come to UK or if I want to go
yeah.
to, it would be lesser. So for me, it's gonna be really exorbitant to go to those places.
Mm,
But I guess in your case, your economy is always higher, right, compared to the places that you have been to, like the pounds and dollars, I guess. Uh,
It depends.
yeah.
I mean, I've been to Switzerland, which is incredibly expensive. So yeah, I have seen it the other way around, and it's really strange to get your head around when things are so expensive to what you're used to. And it's quite demotivating as well. It's not
Mm.
much fun when you have to find the absolute cheapest restaurant that actually is really hard to find in the first place. Yeah.
yeah, that's
Mm.
what I'm saying. Like, is it like
Mm.
because of economy, do you think that you get more advantage compared to like developing countries?
Probably.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, I would think kind
Yeah.
of logically, yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of the students that come here would, you know, have money, realistically.
Mhm.
They
It would
do.
be the
Their families are
mm.
wealthy,
Mm.
realistically. Or they work as well, so they earn the money that they need to be here.
Mm.
So, that's the way it works. I mean, when we go to Scandinavia, it's going to be mega expensive up there because we've looked at the prices and they're nearly double in some cases for things. So
Mm-hmm.
we're going to see it from that point of view. So yeah, it is a barrier. It
Okay.
is a barrier for sure. I would imagine, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Got it. And what
Mhm.
sort of life lessons can we learn? Like, as you've been to a lot of places, what sort of life lessons have you learned through your journey of traveling to different places?
I think for me not to judge too quickly because very often someone else's culture will be different and what you consider polite or rude can be completely the opposite somewhere else. So traveling hopefully makes you more tolerant and realize how how different people can act or seem, but in fact they're really not much different from you because they are also human beings.
Hmm.
Exactly. And just if you go with an open mind
Mm.
and just see, you know, as you say, every culture is different. Every place has a different way of being, and just go with an open mind, non-judgmental, and think, okay, this is the way they roll here. I'm just going
Mm.
to do that when
Hmm.
in Rome, and as they say, you know.
Yeah.
And which
Yeah.
was the one terrible incident that happened to you, like in any place that you've been to? One terrible incident that you feel like, that's worth remembering.
Hmm. Oh, I've got one. So me and my husband and son went on holidays to Austria just for a week. We went to Meyerhofen to go hill walking in the Alps. And on the way back, we decided that we weren't going on the bus that was set up. We were going on the train and we were going to go to Vienna and see the city and all the rest of it. So we got on the train and our flight was leaving that night. So we thought we'll get there early enough. It'll be fine. The trains in this country are so, on time and everything is boom, boom, boom. Got on the train for a little while. The train stopped and
Oh,
it stopped for 4 hours because there was a fire on the tracks. Somebody had for some reason lit a fire and there was police everywhere up the night. So we couldn't go anywhere. We're sitting there stuck. So we ended up just making it into the city in time to get to the airport.
oh,
But then my husband left all his bags on the bus that we got from the train station to the airport because we were so stressed. He just walked off the bus and it was a public bus. So we got to the airport and I said, "Where's your bags?" He went, "I don't know." Left on the bus. So yeah, that wasn't nice. But I mean, that is not in the scheme of things, it's not terrible. But I've been so lucky, touch wood, never never really had a bad experience except for things like that, minor. Never been robbed or had anything terrible happen. I'm just lucky. I think somebody's looking after me
yeah.
Mm.
because we've been to a lot of places and nothing has ever gone wrong. That's significant.
I think for me it was actually here last year. We went swimming when there was a very, very strong current, and we saw that the current was getting stronger, and we knew that there was rain coming down from the mountains, but we decided that we would go out and swim anyway. And, and when we tried to swim back upriver, we were totally stuck. The current was too strong, and there were rocks alongside the river. So we kind of, to a certain extent, we managed to kind of crawl back along the rocks in the water. But then when there were about maybe 5 meters left, we couldn't get out. We were completely stuck. We were being pushed back down the river again. We couldn't really hold on to the rocks for much longer. But luckily there were some other people on the beach. And there were three people who came along with a big long log and they hauled us in. So that was the most the worst and the scariest thing that's ever happened to me. And it's made me not want to go back to that particular place because you kind of go round a corner and then nobody can see you. It's just luck that there had been people on the beach who had seen us go in. And B, to be much more careful when going into the water. Yeah, that was a big scary lesson. And also because a week later we learned that some students had actually died in that same spot around the same time due to the same problem. So yeah, that was the scariest thing.
Mm.
Mm. So be careful when you go in the water.
And as you did that, Michelle, I want to ask one more question. Like, um, as you have been this, like, a lot of places and you have covered most of the things, but in terms of adventurous things, like, do you have any passion for it? Like, I want to do skydiving or scuba diving. Have you done it or you want to do it in the future?
I like the idea of going parachuting, but I know I would never do it. I would be too scared. I am very risk averse, which yeah is a good thing, but also maybe a bad thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very, very into health and safety and being careful, and probably one day will get knocked down by a bus because I was looking very carefully the wrong way.
Bungee jumping also, yeah. Angela?
Oh no.
No, no, no. And the older I get, I think it's for a lot of people, the older you get, the more health and safety conscious you are. Because,
Yeah.
when I was younger, things didn't used to bother me at all, particularly before I had a child. I think once you have a child, there's danger everywhere because your brain is completely switched on for everything that could possibly go wrong, and you get this sort of sense of danger everywhere. But I'm not going to be bungee jumping. I have done some canyoning, where you go in a river and you swim a bit and then you jump down into a pool, and then I can do stuff like that. And I do mountain walking, and some of them are quite high and there's a lot of ledges and stuff like that. But no, nothing involving ropes or anything like that. Won't be doing, or bungees. No,
Mm.
not doing that.
But it's true, isn't it? You definitely get more risk averse as you get older. Because when I was in my 20s, I used to break up fights and do all kinds of, really adventurous things, but not anymore.
But
What
I feel
about
like,
you, Sunil?
yeah, I did all, like, I have never been outside of India, but when it comes to India, I've explored many places and I did like paragliding and, yeah, this thing, river rafting, like you did. So I've done things like that. And I feel like when it comes to both of you, Angela and Michelle, being to this many places itself is an
Mm,
adventure. I guess you don't need another adventure in that.
that's true. But also the thing about India is that there's a lot of variety in India,
Yeah,
in the
true.
in the country itself,
Definitely.
which we
Yeah.
don't have. If
Hmm.
you go to Ireland, if you come to the UK, it's pretty the same. I don't know what you think, Michelle, but it's kind of a little bit homogenous in the
Yeah,
landscape and the food and the culture and things like that. But India is so huge
Mm.
that
true.
it's kind of like um, you have a lot of variety there. You could go to a different area
Yeah.
and have a totally different experience to your own experience. So it's not the same. I mean, I can spend a weekend in Belfast and it's the exact same as spending a weekend in Dublin or London or, you know,
Mm.
yes, there are differences, but not to the extent that you can experience in India, I
True.
would imagine.
Yeah,
Mm.
definitely. Like when it comes to India, one part is completely contrasting to other. Even
Yeah,
language changes, food changes,
yeah.
culture changes.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. It's not,
again,
it's
I
so massive. Yeah.
definitely. And it all also depends. Like if you want to come in the season, there are places that you can go to, and there are places that you cannot go to. Like if
Hmm.
you want to come in the summer season, then there are places like Jammu Kashmir. Then like I have been to Himachal Pradesh. So these are mountain regions where you'll feel the winter, but it's summer. And
Yeah.
on the other hand, there are places like desert, which is like Rajasthan. That's the like biggest state of India, and
Hmm.
it has a big desert in it and lots of like palaces and forts and historical things. So if you want to visit Rajasthan, then you can. For you guys, I guess winter is more preferable.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. We don't want to be melting.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And
So what's your
Yeah.
favorite place in India, Janelle?
yeah, definitely.
Your favorite place?
In India,
Mm.
like I said, it's completely different, Michelle. So each part and like each part is worth exploring. I cannot say I've been to
Mm.
different places, but if I tell that this is my favorite, then that is not because it's different. So I cannot tell, you
Yeah.
know?
Mm-hmm.
Like apples and oranges.
Yeah,
Totally different.
definitely,
Mm.
definitely.
Mm.
Yeah.
And each
Yeah.
place will give you different sort of experience. Like if you come to like for, I'm not sure where your son been to, Angela. Do you remember the place?
Oh, I asked him and I've forgotten again.
Kerala, by any chance? Kerala or
Yes.
Kerala,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that
That's
place, I
right.
guess, yeah, it's really good. It's known as God's own country or something. So it's full of flora and fauna. So a lot of people
Yeah.
come to Kerala, and the environment is really like good. You'll see a lot of greenery and all. So yeah,
Mm.
for that we have different thing. We have here mini Switzerland. We have like many other countries. So in that case, India has a lot to offer. Definitely.
Mm. Oh yeah. 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 You're making me want to go there even more now.
Mm.
By the
But
way,
I won't
my
go in the summer.
yeah, ping me whenever you come to India. You
Yeah.
can yeah, you can be my guest. Although you have to travel to a lot if you want to go to different places, but this could
Mm.
be your resting place or something.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll both arrive on your doorstep at some point.
Yeah, at the same time.
Yeah.
And on that note, Michelle and Angela, I guess I won't hold you any longer. So thank you for sparing some time.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was really lovely having this conversation.
Yeah. Thank you. Nice to meet you, Michelle.
Yeah, nice to
Take
meet you
care.
too.
Bye
Yeah.
for now. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.